Hi everybody, welcome to our Back to Basics 20-minute daily reset. Whenever you're ready, you can join me on your mat. You can join me too. So we have hip width the size of 2 fists between your feet and your knees, your shoe size roughly heels to glutes, and you can roll your back down onto the mat. Check in with your pelvis position. So here is our Pilates compass or our diamond shape. Thumbs together, index fingers together, thumbs onto the belly button, your fingers rest down above your pubic bone with the heels of your hands on the wings of your pelvis. Imagine a marble in the center of that diamond shape. When you push your lower back into the mat, the marble rolls into your belly button. When you arch the back, the marble would roll away from the belly button and towards the floor. So think about rolling the marble into your belly button and then rolling the marble towards the floor, imprinting your spine and arching your back. Find the center of those two positions where the marble stops rolling or where you have a very subtle curve, a neutral curve in your lower back. From there, you want to make sure you're not flaring the ribs forward. So your lower ribs are in contact with the ground. And then we breathe out and in, maintaining that mid-back, that lower rib contact. So instead of flaring or moving forwards and backwards, we stabilize our rib cage position and we breathe laterally. Inhale, open the ribs wide. Exhale, knit the ribs in and down. And you're aware of your lower ribs staying in contact with the ground. Inhale, open the ribs wide. Exhale, knit the ribs together. Once more, inhale and exhale. Now remember, our feet are parallel in hip width, so they're not turning out by accident. We're aware of our big toes, our little toes and our heels, that triangle through each foot. So our bony landmarks so far are our feet being planted, tailbone heavy, lower ribs heavy. Now bring the hands by the sides and crawl your fingers to the end of the mat. What you want to do is feel your armpits drawing down the sides of the body. So we just switch our attention, that mind-body connection, away from thinking about pressing the shoulders down to pulling the shoulders down. So get your brain into the armpits and draw your armpits towards your front pockets. Then you can press your shoulders back to lengthen across your collarbones. Here's where maybe some of us would flare the ribs by accident to compensate for that increased length across the chest. But instead of that, we're going to be strict on our rib cage position or precise on our rib cage position and press the lower ribs down. So now we gently nod the chin in and we revise our bony landmarks. Feet, big toes, little toes, heels, tailbone heavy, lower ribs heavy, chest is open, gentle chin nod. Let's get into the muscle work a bit more. So we already talked about the armpits. Our serratus anterior is going to work into our obliques. With the pelvic floor, the back of the pelvic floor feels like you're holding in wind. The front of the pelvic floor feels like you're holding in just a drop of pee. So can you find those muscles like you're holding in wind, holding in pee, and then let it go? Holding in wind, holding in pee, and then let it go. After that, you're going to trace your belly up along your back. So we start with the pelvic floor, then you scoop your belly lower, middle, in behind the ribs. And what we want to make sure is that as you scoop, you're scooping the front of the body through the back of the body, maintaining neutral, so it doesn't cram your back into the mat. So pelvic floor, abs, scoop, and then you knit the ribs in and down. So it's very different and a lot more flowing and a lot more time than just squeezing the belly. So we think gentle pelvic floor, scoop the belly up along the back and knit the ribs in and down. So let's do that with the breath work and with our mind split between the bony landmarks. So we have our rib cage stability and our pelvic stability. Breathe in. Exhale, gentle pelvic floor, scoop your belly and knit your ribs in and down. Let's do that again. You can pause the video and practice that as much as you like. When we do that ab work, we want to make sure that we've established the connection before we move. So for example, with tabletop, we don't want to lift the leg and then brace the core. You establish the movement, it's happening maybe half a second before you start moving, and then it gets reinforced with your exhale as you move. So tabletop is the knee above the hip with a 90-degree angle behind the knee. So let's try lifting and lower from one side to the other. Breathe in. Exhale, switch on the center, pelvic floor, abs, ribs, lift your right knee into tabletop. Without your spine moving, without losing that rib cage position or the shoulder position. Breathe in. Exhale, switch on the core, imagine a weight tied to your ankle and slowly lower that foot back down. Breathe in. Exhale, switch on, brace the center, reinforce as you continue to exhale, lift the second leg. Inhale at the top. Exhale, switch on the core and lower the leg like there's a big weight tied to your ankle. Breathe in. Breathe out, scoop, switch on and lift the first leg. Inhale to the side of the ribs. Exhale, scoop, switch on and lower that first leg. Breathe in. Exhale, scoop, maintain that connection as you lift the second leg. Inhale. Exhale, switch on the core and lower. We're warming up gently from the inside out. Once more each side. Scan your whole body. Keep the feet planted. Float the arms and reach your arms across the room. It's important that the lower ribs are heavy, so in a moment when we do ab prep, you scoop the center out, pelvic floor, abs, ribs, and lift. Notice the difference. If I lower down and the ribs have popped and then I try to lift, my neck takes over. So that rib cage placement is really important to keep the length through the back of the body, the access through the front of the body. Front of the body works through the back, through neutral, so we're not cramming into the mat. Float the arms and inhale. Exhale, pelvic floor. Scoop your belly. Knit your ribs like an elastic, shortening to your hips to lift your head, neck and shoulders into ab prep. There's space under your chin for an imaginary peach. You don't want to squish the peach and you don't want the peach to roll away. So you come forward with the chest and rest your chin onto an imaginary peach. We're not cramming into the mat, you're neutral. Knit the ribs towards the hips. Gently lower it down and relax the shoulders. So let's do that again, and we're going to stay at the top of this exercise this time. Float your arms and reach the armpits, draw down the sides of the body. You check in with your rib cage position. Breathe in. Exhale, switch on your core, head, neck and shoulders lift into ab prep. We're going to support the head but not push the head forward, just a gentle pillow. Scoop the belly and knit the ribs towards your hips. So the abs are switched on, and now you could let go with the neck completely free. The abs switched on, but just in case, we're going to keep the support here and involve the marching of the legs again. Breathe in. Exhale, switch on your core. We don't want it to switch on after the move. And lift your left knee. Breathe in. Exhale, use your core to lower. Inhale. Exhale, switch on the core, lift the right knee. Imagine a weight on your ankle. Breathe in. Exhale, use your core to lower. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Can you bring the chest further forward and relax the neck? Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Once more each side. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Second side, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, and breathe out. Take more breaks if you like. Otherwise, scoop your belly, knit your ribs towards your hips, switch on the core, lift your right knee into tabletop and keep it there. Breathe in. Exhale, switch on, lift the second leg into tabletop, squash your knees and ankles together. So we're really going to squash the knees and think about the midline. Scoop your belly, knit your ribs towards your hips. The abs are shaking. The abs are so strong that you can let go with the hands on your neck remains relaxed. We're going to return to that hand position, but it's just to make sure that we're connecting to the ab position. Make sure that we're connecting to that ab engagement. Open the elbows wide. Can you squeeze the knees together and rotate the right elbow? Inhale to the center with the chest forward. Rotate back to the left elbow and inhale to the center. So note how I'm not doing this with my upper body, which would also be a great exercise in its own way. But squeeze your knees and ankles together, scoop the belly, knit the ribs. You're rotating, the chest is open, the hips are glued. Inhale to the center. Exhale, abs are on fire, and inhale. Can you squeeze your knees and ankles while you do that? We really want to get into that midline connection. Exhale and inhale. Nice and slow, one more each side. Exhale, keeping them slow is super tough on the core work. Second side, exhale and inhale. You're going to layer out, so switch on your belly and lower your shoulders down. Breathe in. Exhale, switch on the core, lower your left foot down. Breathe in. Use the core first, reinforce the core while you lower the right leg down. Take a breath in and out. We're going to finish this section by just combining everything that we've learnt there or revised there. Take a breath in. Exhale, switch on the core, head, neck and shoulders, lift into ab prep. Armpits down the sides of the body, elbows wide. Breathe in. Exhale, switch on the core, lift your left knee. Inhale. Exhale, use your core, lift the right knee, squash your knees and ankles together. Let's rotate the right elbow and just tap the left toes. Inhale to the center, lift the leg again, just like our leg lifts, but we're keeping tabletop. Exhale, rotate left elbow, tap the right toes, and inhale, really slow. It's super tough on the muscles to keep it slow. Exhale, right elbow, left toes, inhale, center. Exhale, left elbow, right toes, inhale, center. Take breaks if you like. 3 rounds, but it's only for you to practice and build up as the days go on. You don't have to do them all today. Some people were going back from a more advanced level to this level. In that case, notice how challenging it is to slow it all way down. Once more each side. And can you roll your shoulders down but bring your hands behind your knees? You're going to pull the knees towards you and press the knees forward at the same time. So the hands pull, the knees press, creating this sense of forced closure through the middle. Then you can use your core to roll forward, but of course it's okay to let the hands go and use the hands, or go to one side to come forward. It's whatever suits you. So you can bring your legs to one side, just keep swapping the side you go to, or you can cross your ankles over and come through. So we're coming to an all fours position. You have hip width the size of 2 fists between your knees. Knees underneath your hips, hands underneath your shoulders, and spread your fingers out nice and wide. Let's check in with the shoulder blade position. So slide your shoulder blades together and apart. Sliding the shoulder blades closer to your spine and then spreading them away from the spine. Feeling this gliding joint of your shoulder blades across your rib cage. The chest muscles lengthening, then the chest muscles shortening, and then we find the center where we're not squeezing or rounding too much. Check your pelvis position, so imprint and arch, like when your back was on the mat. But now we're away from the mat, so like the marble rolling out of your belly button and into your belly button. Then find the center. Make sure that you're lining your head up into the rest of the spine. All of the movements are good, but for us to achieve those nice open pathways through the spine and a neutral cervical spine, we're just looking straight down. So feed the neck down through the rest of the spine. Energy forward through the crown of the head, armpits drawing down slightly. Make sure you're not hyperextending the elbows. And now can we press into the feet so that your brain thinks you want to lift your knees. So feel the core respond to that. Breathe into the side of your ribs. Exhale, gentle with your pelvic floor. Scoop your belly up along your back and knit your ribs in and down. That will help you to lift the center of the spine if it's dipped. So you should be able to knit the ribs together. Breathe in to prepare. With your exhale, you really need to use the middle of the body. Scoop your belly, knit your ribs, and then just slide your right hand forward. To prevent going too far to one side, you need to keep your brain and your strength in the center. Inhale to lower down. Exhale, center yourself, scoop through the center, then release the left hand forward. And inhale to lower down with as little swing as possible by focusing on the center. Breathe in. Exhale, right hand. Inhale to gently lower down. Center yourself. Use your exhale to steady yourself and reach the left hand. And inhale to gently lower it down. Let's try with the legs. Breathe in. Exhale, switch on the center so there's less swaying. The right leg reaches. We don't want the back to arch, so scoop your belly, knit the ribs, feel the front of the hip stretching. Inhale to gently lower down. Exhale, switch on the center, left leg reaches. Stretch through your toes, your ankle, your knee, and your hip. Scoop through the middle. Inhale to lower. Once more each side. Exhale. And inhale. Center yourself. Exhale. And inhale. Now you can repeat just upper body or just lower body, or keep it broken up like that, or we can put it together for our beginner move called Superman. Breathe in, exhale, switch on the center, right hand, left leg, focus on the center, less on the hand and the leg. Scoop your belly, knit your ribs, stretch in 2 different directions. Inhale, exhale. Let's hold for 3, for 2, last one. And inhale to lower without your back moving at all. Exhale, second side, left hand, right leg. Stretch in two directions, scoop your belly, knit the ribs. Breathe in and out. Zip up through the center for 3. Keep stretching the leg for 2. Last one. Inhale to gently lower it down. You can always pause the video and practice elements of that or the whole exercise more if you like. You can come halfway down towards a shell pose. If your knees and your back are okay with it, you can sit fully into a shell pose. Crawl the fingers forward. Get the elbows closer to the ground. You feel a release across your chest. Inhale deep into your back, down along your spine. Exhale, let everything go. If you like, you can flip your palms up to the ceiling. Get the thumbs as far back as possible. Get your elbows closer to the ground. You feel a release around your shoulders, the upper back and the chest. Breathe in fully. Breathe out, let it all go. And when you're ready, you can bring it back up to a seated position. So we're going to come to a crossed ankled position for our mermaid prep. You're going to anchor your hips down as if you're sitting in cement. Let's check in with the shoulders from here. So reach the arms in front. As you reach forward, the shoulder blades separate. We've done this on all 4s already. As you draw back, the shoulder blades draw closer together. So spread your shoulder blades apart and then draw the shoulder blades together. Feel this protraction of the shoulder blades. The gliding of our shoulder blades across the rib cage, and the opposite of that, your shoulder blades drawing together. You want to find the center of those 2 positions where you're not reaching and you're not squeezing too much. Draw the armpits down the sides of the body. So we lengthen the neck, shoulders away from the ears. Instead of our brain thinking of pushing the shoulders down, we put our attention into the armpits and pull the shoulders down. Just a mind-body connection, just a different perspective on where we're activating. So we don't want the ribs to flare. Sometimes we can feel taller like that. We're going to become more in tune with the stacking of the spine. So anchor your hips down. Get your brain into the back and the front of the pelvic floor, holding in wind, holding in P. Scoop your belly and knit your ribs. And you can still keep that length across your chest. So with this position, as you open the arms wide, you're going to feel a lovely release across your pec muscles. You're going to turn your left palm down, your right palm up and stretch apart. We feel a stretch in the shoulders, working the arms from the inside out, but loads of freedom in the neck, loads of connection through the core. Breathe into the side of your ribs. Exhale over, very little weight in that left hand. You're reaching up and over with the top arm. Make sure that you don't force your floating ribs, so just feel the side of the body. We don't want the hip to lift. If you can go further, completely fair enough, as long as you're not tugging on the rib cage, as long as there's no pain in the neck, and as long as your hips are glued to the ground. The top arm is going to pull you up and over because we want our obliques to pull us back up. Here, you take a moment to spiral through the shoulders. So we twist in the opposite direction. Now our right palm is down, our left palm is up. Inhale to the side of the ribs. Exhale over, very little weight in the bottom hand. Reach up and over with the top hand. Feel the length from your ribs to your hips. Inhale, the top arm pulls you up. Swap your palms. Exhale over, very little weight in the bottom hand. Inhale, the top arm and the abs pull you up. Very little with the bottom arm. Swap your palms. Exhale over and reach. Inhale, the top arm pulls you up. Relax your shoulders. Let's swap our feet so the other foot comes in front now, and we'll continue. So exhale over, very little weight in the bottom hand. Glue the hips to the ground. The hips are heavier, the spine is longer each time. Exhale. Inhale, the hips are glued. Grow taller through the spine. Feel lower, middle, upper spine. Hit that long line. Swap the palms. Exhale. Inhale, nice and tall. Relax your shoulders. Swap your palms. Exhale over. Inhale, taller, taller, taller than last time while the hips are stuck in cement. Swap your palms. We'll finish on this side. Exhale and inhale, and you can relax the shoulders. Simple but very effective and very nice to connect, very mindful. You can go to one side with the legs if you like, or cross your ankles over and come through, all the way down onto the belly, and you can take your time coming into this position. Oftentimes the beginner versions, going back to basics, are a lot harder than when we get used to flowing, but really good to check in with our foundation all the time and to feel the benefits of really slowing down and going back to those stabilizing exercises, those smaller ranges. Your feet are a little bit closer than hip width apart. Relax your shoulders as we set up the lower body. You're going to tuck your tailbone and press into the front of the legs. So pubic bone down, tailbone under. We're just hovering our face above the mat without any pinched skin in the back of the neck. Shoulder blades down, so your shoulders are away from the ears. Armpits drawing down the sides of the body, and give yourself some space from your ribs to your elbows so they're not cramming in by your rib cage. Shoulders down, elbows down. If our elbows are off the ground, our scapula are winging, our shoulder blades are winging. So just make sure that you press the shoulders down and lengthen your neck. We feel the opposition of the shoulders, the armpits drawing down while the crown of the head reaches forward. The opposition of the legs reaching behind you while you tuck your tailbone. Now breathe into the side of your ribs. Exhale, gently find your pelvic floor, holding in wind, holding in P. Scoop your belly up along your back and knit your ribs in and down. It pulls you slightly closer to the mat. It's like there's a thumbtack underneath your belly button and you're trying to scoop away from it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but here we're creating this co-contraction between the back and the front of the body, scooping your belly up into the deep back extensors. Shoulders down, rib cage stays on the mat, and you inhale to lift your chest while still tucking that tailbone. That's really tough going. Exhale, lower down. Feel the tuck of the tailbone, but try to lift the legs. So there's still that thumbtack underneath the belly button. And if your mat is thicker, because this mat of mine is quite thin, then you might still feel the mat, but the point is that your lumbar spine has lengthened out. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift the chest, tucking the tailbone. Exhale, you lower down. You keep tucking the tailbone and lift the legs. Frustratingly small, but the whole body is working. Keep stretching the legs. Legs down, head up, head down, legs up. If you'd like, you can peel. So we get this position where the chest is going forward, and then you allow the pelvis to move, and it's up to you how high you come. Exhale, you lower. We're in no rush with the legs. Elbows go down, shoulders are down. You tuck your tailbone, scoop your belly. When you're knitting the ribs together, then you lift the legs. Shoulders down, legs down. You roll through that spine movement and then release. Shoulders down, lower. When you find the rib cage and tuck the tailbone, you can switch on the core and lift the legs. Shoulders down, inhale to peel. Exhale to lower through the spine, elbows down, shoulders down, tuck the tailbone, knit the ribs and lift the legs. Just try to flow that for 3, however big or small. In no rush with the legs. The core connection lifts the legs for 2. Last one, inhale and exhale. And you can let that go. Let's press back onto all fours. Just let the back adjust with a simple cat-cow stretch. Feel that gentle strengthening from the inside out for the back, but always with that focus coming from the core first. We're just going to ground through our feet, linking the body up again after all of those exercises. So curl your toes under, lift the knees. Walk your hands towards your feet till your feet are planted. The knees can stay bent if you like. Hip width apart and parallel with the feet so our second toe traces through the middle of the kneecap for the tracking of the knees. Let the upper body hang. Breathe in. Exhale, push into the feet and roll up. Lower back stacks. Mid back. Upper back. Relax your shoulders, unstick your chin. Inhale, reach and circle the arms around. Exhale, let it go. Opposite direction. Inhale and exhale to let everything go. Thank you so much for joining me for this Back to Basics 20-minute daily reset. I hope you enjoy it. It's so nice to go back to the basics. I always love the grounding of it, the mindfulness of it. Thank you for taking any of my classes ever. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you on our next class. Thanks, everybody.